Hi, I'm Mike with 4 on 6 Music, and for today's lesson what I want to go over with you guys is I want to go over the difference between a free stroke and a rest stroke. So this is pretty much how you're going to be finger picking on the classical guitar. You can use this for other guitars as well, but basically the difference between it is how you're attacking the string with your fingers. So when it comes to a free stroke, pretty much your fingers are going to be playing the string just like that, but you're not going to connect and play into the above string. So this, if I'm playing a free stroke with my right hand, that's how it's going to sound when I'm just going between my first and second finger, and I'm just alternating between them. First, second, like that. And again, I'm not making a connection into the next string. It's just very superficial as far as how I'm finger picking that string. Now, if I want to project that a little bit more, then what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a rest stroke. So a rest stroke is pretty much the same thing, but my finger goes into the string right above the string I am plucking with my fingers. So the difference, just so you guys can hear that, is this. So here's the free stroke, and here's the rest stroke. So with the rest stroke, I'm able to project a little bit more, and this is really helpful when it comes to playing a song and really wanting that melody to come out. So in the shorts, I used Spanish Romance as an example just to differentiate between the free stroke and the rest stroke. So the free stroke, if I'm going to play Romance, is going to sound like that, which is nice. And especially when you're first starting out, that's, I would say, the way to learn the song. But if you really want that melody to come out, you would use rest stroke, just like I used in that instance. However, when you're playing that, you have this arpeggio going on underneath that. So in order to differentiate that arpeggio from the melody on the E string, we're going to use a rest stroke just on that E string. And as I mentioned in the right hand technique video, just for proper posture on the right hand, for the first 3 strings, I'm going to use my my first, second, and third finger, pointer, middle, and ring. So my pointer finger is going to go on the 3rd string, middle on the 2nd, ring on the first. So that means with my ring finger, I'm going to have to use the rest stroke. And then for my 2nd, 3rd finger, I'm going to have to use free stroke, right? So the difference between that, if I play that same melody, there's a little bit more variation and a little bit more difference between my melody and then the arpeggio that's supposed to be happening underneath it. So again, it's not that you want to learn one over the other, it's just that you want to know the difference between them and when to employ them. So when it comes to playing an arpeggio, such as that. So an arpeggio is pretty much when you're playing a chord, but instead of playing it harmonically with all the strings ringing out at the same time, you're going to be playing each string separate. So for something like that, I'm going to use free stroke. That's, I would say, much easier to play an arpeggio is by using free stroke. And it's going to make it not only easier, but it's going to give you the sound that you want, because normally when you're playing an arpeggio, it's going to be a background part. You're not playing a melody, which is going to be more so in the foregrounds. So if you're playing a melody, or if you're playing a scale, you can use free stroke, or my suggestion would be rest stroke. So with the rest stroke, I'm able to project more. I have a little bit more control over the notes. So that would be rest stroke, free stroke. And both have their place. It's just knowing when to use them. That's the key. And knowing how to do that. So again, with the free stroke, if I'm playing, that's how my fingers look. If I'm playing on the A string, so my fingers pluck that string, but it's not connecting into the next string. Whereas if I use a rest stroke, my fingers going right into the string above. So my fingers, if I'm playing on the A string, is hitting right into the E string, the low E string. And I would suggest, if you're just starting out and you're trying to figure out how to do this, just use open strings. So free stroke, rest stroke, free stroke, rest stroke. And once you're able to get it on open strings, then start using it on scales, such as the major scale. So you can use both free stroke and rest stroke on that. Again, just being able to differentiate between both of them and get that feeling in your right hand. And once you get that, you'll be able to employ it when you need to, such as playing a song in which you want to hear the melody clearly. Otherwise, that melody can get lost within the background part, which again, for romance, would be that arpeggio on the E minor, right? So I hope that lesson was beneficial for you guys. If you'd like to sign up for private lessons, you can check out the link in the description box below. I offer online lessons as well as in-home lessons for anyone in the Syracuse or the Oneida, New York area. So I hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you in the next video.